Today we're heading to Dalton Road in Sutton to meet with Dr. Paul Saad and Andrew Tadrouss, owners of Georgina Grace Family and Walk-In Center, to learn about what it takes to run a successful medical clinic. I'm Caird Urquhart, and this is Georginapreneur.
My name is Paul Saad. I'm a family doc here at Georgina Grace Family and Walk-In Center.
My name is Andrew Tadrouss. I'm one of the behind-the-scenes partners in this clinic.
The clinic is here. It's located on at 20887 Dalton Road.
We got great services in this plaza, a lot of good food in this area as well, and we're also just right next door to the No Frills.
And we've been here for about a year now. We are essentially a family practice clinic. One of the things that we really wanted to set up here is also to be a one-stop shop for all other medical services as well. So we do have a walk-in clinic, which is great for sick kids and people that need to be seen urgently. We have a blood lab, so you can get your blood work done as well, either as a sole visit or on your way out if you need it for something else. We have a foot care nurse that comes in once a month to do foot care, nails, and other things like that for patients. We also have a pharmacy which is attached to us, which is great, so you can pick up your prescriptions on the way out. And some of the things that we added on as well is a Botox clinic for cosmetic and for medical reasons. And we have a cardiology suite, which we're really excited to kind of announce here. They do echocardiograms, stress tests, Holter monitors, all the cardio testing that you would need. It's rented out to a full-scale cardio company that will then follow up with you virtually for the results of those tests.
We picked Sutton, and specifically this part of Sutton, mainly because Dr. Saad has come from Keswick, where he's had a long standing with patients, and it's been a great community. And most importantly, the people here actually appreciate good service. So we really wanted to focus on that and the people who need it most. And at the same time, it's rewarding. The community needs medical services. We're able to come in and kind of fill that gap. It's connected to the lake, so when you're here, people are happy. It's just a good area to be in. And at the same time, we're able to kind of commit to what we've promised the town, which is to bring in good healthcare here. And being in this specific location is pretty central in Sutton because we're in the busy part of Sutton. Everyone's driving by, and it's easy for all the locals to come and access the space.
We really like this location because it was right on the main road, but when we came in, it was just basically a shell. There was nothing here, 4,000 square feet of almost empty space. And so we had to make a lot of changes to bring it to be what it is today, including like 5 months of construction work with a full contractor. Andrew was very involved in that part, so.
Bringing a design to life has always got its challenges. It was a hurdle, bringing all the pieces together, but also bringing something to the town which is a little bit different than what they've seen, but at the same time isn't so modern or different where people are pushed back against it. At the same time, we wanted to create a space that is very family friendly and people are just happy to be here. Not just the patients, but our staff as well, just to come to work and feel appreciated and be happy and enjoy the space. We did have a lot of hurdles along the way with building it out. When we're building medical suites, it's a lot different than putting in a retail space. Every exam room has to have a sink, so running plumbing to every room had to break the entire floor. We have certain restrictions as well as to what we can and can't offer depending on what type of procedures we're offering here. So getting all that put together was a challenge, but at the same time, I think we did a pretty decent job. The feedback has been amazing. The people have loved the space so far. Our staff are happy, so I think we did pretty well, and we're excited for you to come and check it out.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Today I'm here with my guests, Dr. Paul Saad and Andrew Tadrouss from Georgina Grace Clinic in Sutton. So great to have you folks here today with us.
Thank you for having us.
It's really nice that you agreed to do the show. I'm really excited to get to know both of you a lot better.
It's our pleasure.
So I'm going to start with you, Paul. Can you tell me a little bit about why you became a doctor in the first place?
Honestly, I think it was never really a question for me. I think I've always kind of known since I was really young. I have these like grade 4 drawings of what's in your future, and there was always a stethoscope there in my drawings and my school projects. So I've kind of just always known. I don't know if it was my parents that put it there or what, but the question for me was what kind of medicine, and for me what fit was family medicine because I don't know. I always kind of like being there for my patients throughout their lives, and it was special to me that way.
That's great. That's great. It's nice when you know what you want to do when you're young, right? So many people don't.
Yeah, it kind of worked out that way. It was really nice, yeah. I agree.
And Andrew, can you give us a little background on how you showed up here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I kind of grew up with family being in healthcare, from my parents to my uncles to cousins, and even my brother-in-law. So healthcare kind of became a natural path. However, I did not like sciences. I wasn't into it, and my business brain kind of wanted to go a different path. So I pursued real estate development, different business acquisitions, and I kind of went down that path. But because I always had healthcare in my family, it kind of made sense to merge the two, and that's how I ended up here.
That's very cool. What I love is that you're joining your sort of something that was kind of in your blood, the healthcare piece, with your development and your business savvy that you have.
Yeah, that's what I kind of tried.
Nice marriage between the two of you, right? Can you tell me how you met?
Well, we've known each other going back probably about 30 years. We grew up in the same church community. I was a youth counselor, and he was one of the youth that I served. And then I married his sister, and so, we just kind of joined at the hip, and we've been brothers ever since, about 17 years now.
Like literally.
Literally, yeah. And so it's great that we have each other's backs in this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what about the name of the clinic? How did you come up with that?
Well, that has a lot of meaning, actually. So we signed the lease for this place back in about April or May 2022, and it was right around the time where my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and her name is Grace. And so, she was very supportive of this project, very excited to see it, but she never got a chance to. She passed away in September while we were in the construction phase. And so it made complete sense. Yeah, thank you. We talked one day, and I think we were both thinking it, and Andrew kind of said, what do you think of the name? And I said, we both said Grace almost the exact same time, and the rest is history. Yeah.
That's amazing. And of course, you know his mom too, right?
I loved his mom. His mom was such a gentle and kind soul, but also so passionate. And more than anything in the world, she loved her sons and was their biggest advocate and supporter. So it just made sense that she would be the one supporting her son in this practice.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure she's sharing
really
it with all her friends as we speak, how proud she is of what you've created here.
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
I love, what I love right now is just the story of the name, but also the connection between the two of you. I mean, there's obviously a really good synergy here that seems to work. You're brother-in-laws and partners, so you kind of are forced to get along because you can't be a breakdown for too long, right? It's gotta work.
It's pretty good that we actually do get along. So that's good.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah.
We'll end on that note for just a second. I think we're going to go to commercial now, and we'll be back because I want to hear a bit more about what goes on in this fabulous new space that you've created. So
great.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with my guests, Dr. Paul Saad and Andrew Tadrouss of Georgina Grace. So I'm really interested in knowing a bit more about the business side of the business, because I think we all think that a doctor graduates, they hang their shingle, and la-di-da, you have a clinic. But that's not really what happens. Maybe you could fill us in a bit on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is underrated how difficult and challenging it is to run a clinic, and not just run a clinic, but run it properly and successfully. Like you said, everyone thinks, doctor comes in, sees some patients, goes home, and calls it a day. That is the furthest thing from the truth. A clinic is no different than any other business. It requires a lot of effort, a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights, and a lot of management too. People think also that when it comes to medical clinics specifically, it's all government funded and there's a lot of government support, which is not the case at all. Doctors come in, they see their patients, they bill for that, and then a huge part of that is the overhead that they have to pay. So a percentage of what their earnings are goes to paying for everything that you see, paying for the hand-picked staff that we have in the front, paying the utilities, paying the overhead to operate the space. So it is very stressful, but in addition to that, it's also a perfect harmony of supply and demand, where you have to identify an area where there isn't enough supply to meet the demand that we have. And in healthcare, there's areas that are saturated and areas that are in desperate need of medical. And Georgina, specifically Sutton, was one of those areas. So coming in and trying to merge that supply and demand and trying to find that harmony is a challenge in its own, because you also have to see what the community healthcare needs are and try to fulfill that. And nowadays, with everything being so expensive and inflation and all that good stuff, it's almost impossible to run a clinic on its own. You need additional services to come in. So there's also another business aspect of that, of trying to bring in services that will help the community and aid the community that the patients could benefit from, such as pharmacies and cardio health and things like that, but also try to cover some of that overhead, because it is challenging to, cover the expenses, manage everything properly, manage the staff. And again, we've handpicked our staff because they fit the community and the vision for this place so nicely. And we've had a lot of great feedback about that, but we're still trying to figure out how to get it to the next stage where we're comfortable and able to provide more services for the community.
So that leads me to my question about even the idea of opening your own clinic. I mean, you were a doc elsewhere. Was there a moment in time that went, yeah, okay, it's time to do my own thing?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I kind of came into this knowing that I would eventually want my own place because I have kind of a lot of opinions. Like, I like things done a certain way,
I can tell.
Yeah. We like the atmosphere. I think for me, the most important thing about a clinic is that when you walk in the doors, you're greeted with a smile. Half of the anxiety of coming to see your doctor is gone just from that. And so when I came in, I knew that that's how I wanted things to be run. I wanted things done in a certain way. I wanted a friendly atmosphere. And plus me, I wanted to be sort of happy coming to work. I wanted a place that I was happy coming into. And so, when I was in another clinic that sort of wasn't completely like that, I knew it was time to branch out and do my own thing. But what people don't realize is that this didn't just come together right away. It wasn't like we just, found a place, opened the doors, and, that was it. We probably planned this for about 4 or 5 years going back. So it took a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of strategizing, backdoor meetings, things like that to make a place like this happen. So yes, I always knew I wanted my own place, but there was that time where I decided, enough's enough. I want to do it my own way too.
Right. Is there a mantra? I mean, you're talking about, people being happy, and you talk about handpicking people. Do you have a mission statement for your clinic or that kind of thing? Like something that dictates how you make those decisions?
Well, yeah, I guess it's just kind of friendly and welcoming. I think that's the most important thing. Like, it's sort of a graceful place for people to come to. You know what I mean? I don't want people going in and sitting and being and grumbling and being frustrated. I want people to be, happy coming here, just like we're happy to be here.
Right.
That's important
Graceful
to us.
place is a pretty good branding, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's
spot on.
Just came up with it too.
I know. I can see that on all the business cards now.
There you go.
That's fantastic. And in terms of deciding what goes in here from a business perspective, are you must hand pick those. So you got the cardiology, the pharmacist, and stuff like that. How do you make those choices?
It's not easy. One of the biggest challenges is obviously recruiting physicians to come here. As beautiful as Sutton is, for a lot of people, the commute still doesn't add up to it for it to make sense. So bringing in physicians to come here or additional medical services is always a challenge. But with that being said, we also need to kind of figure out the needs of the people and also what we're able to offer. We don't want to oversell ourselves. We don't want to tire out the staff and burn them out. We want to make sure everything's kind of, again, in harmony. So there's physicians out there that are seeing, north of 100 patients a day, and it's like a 2-minute appointment, and you're in and out quickly. And there's some,
we've all been to those.
Yeah, and it's rough, and people feel like they're cheated. And at the same time, we have other clinics that are the exact opposite, where they're only seeing 5-10 patients a day, and patients are waiting, a year to get an appointment. So finding that harmony, putting that staff together, that can kind of manage that for also the doctors who are working here to be able to see, they want to come, they want to see their patients, and they want to be able to go home to their families as well. So everybody has to be a team player, from the pharmacist to the front staff, to the blood lab, to the cardio, to the physicians that are here. It's all kind of got to come together. And we try to aid and support the physicians as well by bringing them in physician assistants and other people who can help, just so the people can be seen by the physicians, get the health care that they want, at the same time, not feel like they're cheated in time. Mm-hmm. And then the last part, to answer your question, is trying to figure out, identify what kind of health care is needed the most. Is it, we fought hard to get a blood lab here because there is no blood lab in town, and people are having to go down to Keswick or Newmarket, and it's been, a complaint to the town for many years. So finding out, okay, the people want this, how do we get it here? And how do we support that? So that's kind of the challenge of it all.
How do you find out from the people what they want? How do you market that? Do you go out and do surveys? How do you figure that out?
I hear a lot from my patients. It's a lot of driving to go see my specialist. It's a lot of driving to get blood work. It's a lot of driving to get foot care. It's a lot of, so I kind of pay attention and listen, and then I tell Andrew, hey, this town really needs X, Y, Z, and then he kind of looks and figures it out for me. And that's why we work together so well, is that anything that I tell him we need, he goes out and looks for it.
He's your footman.
Yeah. So we listen and we act. So that's what it's all about.
Right. That's great. I mean, I think it's really nice that you're getting immediate feedback from clients who come in or patients. I don't know what you call them, clients or patients, but when they come in and they give you feedback of what they see other clinics doing, what they like about this clinic, and you're actually listening to that. And that you have the ability to do that too. And there's lots of places they don't have the ability to actually, do what the people want, right? Mm-hmm. But the fact that you guys are figuring out how to do that is amazing. I think it's fantastic. We're going to cut the break for just a second, but we've got lots more to talk about, so I can't wait to get back.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back in just a minute.
And I think the best way for success for anyone who's looking to think outside the box is to identify a problem and find a solution for it. And that's kind of what we did here. We identified the lack of healthcare that was in town, and the passion for healthcare was where our hearts were. And then the solution was, let's open a practice, let's open a clinic, let's help the community.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with my guests, Dr. Paul Saad and Andrew Tadrouss at Georgina Grace. And we've been having a great conversation today. I'm learning tons, so can't wait to keep going. I'm really interested to know if you guys had mentors growing up, either in business or in the medical profession, or maybe not, maybe it's something completely different. Who would like to start with that question?
So I could go first. Go for it. Yeah. So I've had a lot of mentors actually going through medical school and training and everything like that. But one that really stands out for me is Dr. Keith Wursler. He's one of my mentors at my residency program in Ohio. And he really taught me one thing which I took away and I'm trying to apply to my practice, which is taking that extra few seconds to really listen to what someone's saying when you're in the exam room. And he taught me that just by taking those 7, 8, 9 seconds to listen to what someone's saying can really teach you a lot about what a patient's looking for and increase that satisfaction in that interaction. And so I know sometimes as doctors get a little bit rushed and we try to kind of just cut the conversations, but taking those extra few seconds, it doesn't take a long time and it makes a huge difference in the interaction, I find. And so I've been told that patients appreciate that, and so I took that away and I try to apply that to every patient visit. So very important to me.
100%. It's a great takeaway too, because you're right. The more time you spend, the more you learn about something. Like we're doing here today. Yeah, I'm learning so much about the two of you. Andrew, how about you?
I actually have two mentors that come to mind. One is a life mentor and one is a business mentor. And I'll start with the life mentor. The life mentor, I don't think he's even aware of this, but it's my dad. My dad is a mentor in my life because he is probably the most humble person. He's a doctor, but you look at him and he's just humble. He's a person who's chosen life with no conflict. Most people can't say a bad thing about him, and I don't think there's anyone who feels a negative way about him. So he's kind of taught me in life that life is not worth conflict. It's not worth, bumping heads with someone. Live life to its fullest, live happy, and just enjoy every day with a good child-hearted spirit. So that's my first, I called it life mentor. And again, he's probably not aware of it, but that's how I feel about him.
Can I just ask what kind of doctor he was?
He was a surgeon back home in Egypt.
Yes.
And now he's actually working here in this clinic. So if you come, you get to meet him.
Really?
Yeah.
Not cutting anymore.
No.
Oh, cool.
I like that answer. I'll take that one too.
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy.
I'll look forward to meeting him. Yeah. That's amazing.
And the other mentor I have, also someone who's probably not aware of this, his name is Adil Hanna. When I first got out of school and I started my real estate career, I was hungry. All I wanted was dollars. I just looked at life as, I'm now graduated from school, I'm working, let's make some money. And I kind of looked at every opportunity at what the price or what the value of the opportunity is. And he slowed me down so much. And he said, never, ever put $1 on anything. It's not worth it, and you're going to have the wrong focus. He says, work with your heart, work with people's best intentions, and work with every effort to satisfy someone, and you'll be rewarded at the end with the money. He said the paycheck always comes at the end when you put a good service first. So that's kind of been my goal in life, is not to focus on anything with a dollar sign and hope that one day you'll be rewarded with karma and God might bless you and bring you a good paycheck at the end of the day, but put people first and the service you provide for them.
And is it ringing true so far for you?
I certainly hope so. We're still waiting for that paycheck, but the service is there.
It'll come. You're young. It'll come. Yeah. It'll come. So let me flip the story now from people who taught you to what can you teach other people?
You start.
Okay, so I guess, I mean, my advice would be to other physicians is figure out how you want to do your practice, how you want to live your life. And so there are physicians that really just are very okay coming to work, seeing their patient load and going home at the end of the day. If that's the kind of style of practice that you want, if that's how you want to sort of live your day, that is absolutely wonderful. Join a clinic that you're comfortable at, that you're happy with. So we'd love to have you, But and if that's what you want, then fine, great. I know a lot of physicians that are like that. But if you also are like me and want to say, then don't be scared to go out there and try something, to open up and to take some risks and to take some chances. Find a great partner that'll back you and go for it as well. So there are sort of that two styles when it comes to practice, is being involved and not really being involved, and figure that out for yourself very early in your career, and you'll really benefit from that, I think.
Right. I mean, in our family, because we had docs too, there was always sort of, doctors don't make good businessmen necessarily.
Yeah, true.
So I think the idea that you have joined forces has helped you a lot. Can you speak to that a little bit, just in terms of from the business part of it, how helpful that was for you to have somebody speak that language?
Well, absolutely. Andrew helps me in every sort of aspect of this clinic. So the other day there was a door hinge that had fallen off, and if you ask my wife, my construction sense is like this. And so I literally called him to fix a door hinge for me, to paying the rent, to paying the staff, to all the big sort of aspects of the business as well. So I think that having someone in your corner that you really trust, because nothing puts friction in a relationship more than money, right? So if you have someone that you already have that background with, someone that you really trust, and you don't let it become a source of friction, I think that's really, really important. So I think that's why we mesh so well, and why this place is so dear to us, I think.
It's fun that he's not only your business partner, but he's also your handyman.
Yes, at home as well, unfortunately.
And how about you? What's your advice to young entrepreneurs?
I think, honestly, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Find out what you're passionate about. And I think don't settle. With life today, it's so easy to just settle or give up. There's a lot of challenges that come with day-to-day life. And I think you have to think outside the box. And I would say the best way from a business side of things, if you want to be successful and you want to be, whatever you define success as, it might not be money, it might be something else. But whatever that definition of success is, find out how to attain it. And I think the best way for success, for anyone who's looking to think outside the box, is to identify a problem and find a solution for it. And that's kind of what we did here. We identified the lack of healthcare that was in town, and the passion for healthcare was where our hearts were. And then the solution was, let's open a practice, let's open a clinic, let's help the community. So
Right.
I think anyone who's young and looking for success, identify a good problem, be the solution to that problem, and be passionate
Fix the
about
problem.
it. Yeah.
On that note, we have a very short period of time left to just give us an idea about what your future looks like.
I could speak to that a little bit. So our future is a lot more than this. We made a promise to the community, having spoken to town staff in the past and coming here to open doors, we made a promise that we will not stop here. We want to bring a lot more healthcare services. We want to bring, things like urgent care and specialists and whatnot. So our promise is that we're not going to stop here. We're going to keep going. We're going to fulfill our promise, with the support of the town and the patients and the community.
Awesome.
There's more to come.
Awesome. That's our show for today, folks, and I really hope you join us for the next go-round when we sit down with another entrepreneur and hear about how they made their business grow.